Okay, I'm all queued up here, ready to go. I downloaded the files. I put them into a folder. Here's my pizza folder that I downloaded from the course content. This is the index file with all the HTML already done for you. You can see our style sheet is styles.css, and we have no styles on the pizza place, so we're ready to go ahead and start putting some styles in. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create that file. So if I right mouse click on pizza and do new file, and then I'm going to do a file, save as, it should automatically go into the pizza folder, and I'm just going to call this styles.css. Okay, so I have styles.css, I have my index page right here. And now we're ready to go ahead and start. So the first thing we're going to do is put a red background. That's going to be on the body tag. So I'm going to say that the background color is going to be red, and that's going to be RGB, and that's 139. Okay, so that gives us a red background. If I do File, Save All, and then refresh, it's red. If that didn't turn red, my problem is that either this styles CSS is not in the pizza folder, or I misspelled it somehow here, maybe CCS rather than CSS. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is style our main section. So we have a body container. Inside that we have main. All the other containers are inside of that main. So next thing we're going to do is say main. And that's going to have a pink background color. So we'll do background color, RGB. And that is going to be 255, comma, 182, comma, 193. And a semicolon at the end. You're also going to do the width, and I'm going to make that 95%, and it's going to be listing to the left unless I center it, and we do that with margin. And I'm going to say the margin is 0 up and down, and then auto, which means it's going to place all the extra space equally on either side. And the last thing I'm going to do, and this is different from what you'll see in the lesson, and that is I'm going to do text align. Text align, center. That's going to center everything on the page. And that's okay, because most elements I want centered anyway. The only one I don't want is the paragraph tag, and that is going to be text align left. All right, everything else is going to be centered on the page. Let's see what we've done. We'll do File, Save All, and refresh. All right, so now everything you can see is nicely centered on the page. And we have our red background, and we have our pink that we're going to be using in there. Okay, the other thing I want to do is, after the paragraph tag, is do the figure tag. And for this one, I'm going to remove all the margin. It has top, bottom, left, right margin. We're just going to get rid of that margin since we know it's going to be there and it's going to be a pain in the neck to us. You're not going to see much of a change because that margin wasn't really impacting anything. But we will see it when we start moving these pictures around. So it's best to get it off. Now you notice that these two are underneath main. Another place you can put them is above body. Whenever I have a generic, so I try to keep my CSS in the order in which it appears in my HTML, but the figure tag and the paragraph tag is all figures, all paragraphs, so I'm going to put that above body, and now everything looks just like this. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and work on the nav. Okay, so for the nav, I'm going to have a background color, and that's going to be 255. So RGB 255 and 0, 0. That's going to be a deeper red. I'm going to do File, Save All, and then refresh. And there's that red. Now you can see that we also have some buttons here. We're going to get rid of those. So we're going to do nav ul. Okay, that's what's keeping those buttons there. And I'm going to take some of the padding away from the left-hand side. So I'm going to do padding left. And I'm going to just make that 1%. So it's going to get larger at larger sizes, smaller and smaller sizes. And then I'm going to do list style none. That's going to get rid of the buttons or the dots. Then I'm going to come back up here. I like to have my display property as the top one. I'm going to say display flex. What that's going to do is this UL, if we go into HTML, there's my UL, and inside there I have 4 children, these LIs. My display flex, what it's going to do is it's going to put these side by side. All right, so I'll go ahead and save everything, File, Save All, and then refresh, and there we go. All right, so looking a little bit better, but kind of all mushed up there, but that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to go and try to move these a little bit apart. And I'm going to go say nav ul li, so I'm going to target the li tags. And I'm going to go ahead and give that a margin. And I'm going to say 0 up and down, and 2% left and right. Again, that's going to be a flexible, so the wider it is, the bigger it is. Save all, and then refresh. And you can see now it's moved out from each other. All right, so looking a little bit better now. Now we're going to do the rest by targeting the actual anchor tags. And the reason why we target that anchor tag is because we want it to be buttons, and we want that whole button to be clickable. So we're going to do the rest of the style with that nav ul li a. So this is going to target the anchor tag inside a list item inside a unordered list. The first one we're going to do is display block. And we need it right now because the anchor tag is an inline element, which means I can't push things left and right. And it's only going to be taking the size of the content, and I want it to be bigger than that. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do is give it a different color. Now this color property is for the text, and I want it to be white, and that's RGB 255, 255, 255. And then I want to make it a little bit bigger font, so I'm going to change the font size and make it 1.5 EMs. Remember, EM, 1 EM is the size of normal text, which in the Chrome browser is 16 pixels. We're going to make this 1.5, so it's going to make it 24, right? 16 and 8. And let's see, we're going to take away the underline, so we'll have text decoration. And we'll say none of that. And then we're going to add some padding and make it bigger. So we're going to say padding. And again, we're going to use a shortcut and say we want 10 pixels on every side. And we'll do File, Save All, and refresh. Boom. Okay, now it's looking like this. And you can see all this in here is clickable. Okay, the next thing we want to do is let's see, give it a background color, right? Actually, we don't want to do that. It seems like we want to do the hover next, so let's do that. We're going to do nav, ul, li, a, and then we're going to use a pseudo selector called hover, which means that when we hover over it, it's going to change some of the properties. And one of the things I want to do is I want to change the background color. And the background color now is going to be white, so that's going to be RGB. And one thing we can do for a shortcut is just use 255, and it knows now that it's 255, 255, 255. And the other one is we want a color of red, and that's going to be the text color, and that's RGB 255 00 0. And we'll do File, Save All, and refresh. And now when we mouse, whoa, okay, well that's, where's my white? I didn't like that 255, comma 255, comma 255. Is that the problem? I guess it was. Okay, well I thought that would work. Okay, that should be the end of our first page, and that's how your page should look. A little bit different than the lesson, but not quite much.